For most of us, the biggest surprise of the Episode 9 trailer was the somewhat reveal of Palpatine's return. Now, as we all know, Palpatine died at the end of Return of the Jedi, so this video is trying to theorize about how, in canon, Palpatine can return in whatever shape or form that may be. I will be exploring the canon possibilities, but then I will state what happened in Legends, because Palpatine did actually return in Legends using a clone body of himself, but I'll explain that later in the video. Now, in canon, you will probably know that we have Force Ghosts, but those are actually only reserved for Jedi characters. George Lucas is very adamant, and as well as many other people in the story group, that Sith can't return through being a Force Ghost. It's simply something only the light side can do. It's sort of contributing to that obsession that Sith have with immortality, yet ironically, it is something that they can never achieve. I guess this is the great irony of the story, because the Sith simply cannot return using this power, yet out of all powers that they could possibly achieve, this is the one that they would most want. However, there has been one instance in canon of a Sith sort of returning. In the Clone Wars Season 6, Yoda is on his own journey to achieving the power of becoming a Force Ghost, and he comes across what seems to be the spirit of Darth Bane on Korriban. This spirit doesn't really look like the Force Ghosts that we know. He seems to be some amalgamation of a lot of things, and Yoda actually describes him as an illusion. So it's not really clear if this is an actual return of Darth Bane, or if Yoda is correct in saying it is simply an illusion. But what would be causing this illusion? It seems that in some parts of canon, dark side users have been able to, haunt areas, and there's a good chance that Bane has been able to haunt this part of the temple. But Yoda manages to defeat Bane by simply acknowledging that he is an illusion and isn't physically there.
No. Exist. You do not anymore.
And we do know that Force Ghosts are somewhat physical beings, as in The Last Jedi, Yoda is able to summon lightning from a cloud above. I personally believe this is some sort of thing with Arc-2 and Yoda having some sort of connection with the planet simply because the Force is very connected to this planet because that's where the first Jedi Temple was. But it's uncertain, really. We don't know enough about Force Ghosts to be able to judge details like that. So it's unsure how similar this illusion of Darth Bane is to other Force Ghosts. Now, in Legends, Palpatine was actually able to return many times. Sith in Legends have a power called Transfer Essence, where they are able to transfer their consciousness into another's body. But what Palpatine ended up doing was create a gallery of empty shells of bodies of himself, of clones, and he was able to use those pretty much every time he died. The story around it's actually really cool, and in the description you'll find the full story explained by the Lore Master. He explains how eventually he was defeated, but the main point of this for this video is that this transfer essence power exists in Legends. I don't necessarily think they'll bring this power back directly into canon, but there is a chance they could use aspects of it. I don't think they will go down the clone route, because I feel like that will sort of cheapen the ending of Return of the Jedi, as well as that you would think that the Emperor would have returned by now. So it's uncertain as to whether they'll actually use this aspect of Legends in the new canon. However, with all things considered, I do think it will slot into the story in a way that may not actually be the return of the Emperor. I believe, like Darth Bane, Palpatine will return as somewhat of an illusion, and I think he will haunt the debris of the second Death Star. I think that in some way he will either coerce Rey to the dark side, or even go as far as possessing her. I believe by this time Kylo Ren will have been turned back to the light, and the final battle will be Kylo Ren versus Rey, but Rey will be on the dark side, whether by her own accord or by some sort of Sith possession. I think it would be really cool to see Rey and Kylo fight, and I think it would be cool to have the roles being reversed. I also believe it's possible that Rey could be a descendant of Palpatine, and this could be some sort of reason why Palpatine's able to access Rey so easily. We know Plagueis was somewhat involved in the creation of Anakin, so what if Palpatine was somewhat involved in the creation of Rey? It could be really cool to see Palpatine sort of saying, I created Rey, and then he somewhat uses her to get to Kylo, as really what Palpatine wants is the Skywalker blood, and through Snoke, Palpatine was trying to get to Kylo. Maybe Palpatine all along was Snoke, and Snoke was one of those clones of Palpatine or some sort of host body for him, and he's now searching for his next one to be Rey, and then for his next one after that to be Ben Solo. I feel like this storyline would connect all of the dots for the sequel trilogy. Why Rey's so powerful, why Ben Solo's so powerful, who Snoke is. It would connect everything together, and it would have the return of Palpatine physically. Though it wouldn't necessarily be Palpatine, it would be more his consciousness messing with people, more or less. What do you guys think of this? Do you think I'm absolutely crazy, or do you think this theory has some sort of merits? Do you guys think this would be a compelling and fulfilling story for all the questions we've had during the sequel trilogy? If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing. If you've got any types of other ideas, do leave it in the comments. I try to respond to as many comments as I can. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great day.